I wish I had Bart Wood here to tell the chat that they're making a mockery of the sport.
Stop making a mockery of this.
Who's that arm wrestler? It's Cobra Rhodes.
I am ready to arm wrestle now. Can I arm wrestle now?
I've been sick since Dubai, but I'm starting to feel good now.
Yeah, you feel good, right? Yeah.
I'm feeling better. I
yes.
still have a little bit of a cough, but I'm feeling a lot better. By the end of March, in April, I'll be something that I've never been before. I'm pretty confident saying that. Pretty confident. Yeah.
Anyone who knows you knows that you have plans. Levan is also, I think that he will be even probably better than before. But the only thing is that, like, we all have injuries, Devon. And he also experienced an injury, and he was smart enough to not to push it, not to rush it. You know, he took his time. But where you are healing.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. How you all doing out there in the arm wrestling world? Give me a second here to set up chat so I can actually see what you guys are saying. And set up the chat highlighter for the stream, as we usually do. I want to know something funny. I saw Aussie arm wrestler's interview with Alex Kurdecha, and he actually asked him about the notorious super match against the slap fighter champion. Very interesting. Hey, Levan Slayer in the house. What's up? German Game. How you doing, man? TOS Move. Tomer, one minty to go. Yeah, indeed, one long minty, the longest minty of the whole week. Max, how you doing? Welcome. Lambo, hi, what's up? Wat zeg je me daar nou van? Says, I was in a tournament and I have pain on the inside of my tournament. It is a very painful. I can close my elbow more than halfway before it feels like it's gonna pop off the joint. Similar pain with extent. I'm trying to parse that sentence while I'm reading it. Sounds like you're having elbow issues, which I don't know how long you've been in the game. Wat zeg je me daar nou van? But yeah, definitely. If it's one of your first tournaments, you probably just overloaded your elbow, I'm guessing. School Lady Boy, what's up? Good to see you. Mindaugus Teraceitis arm wrestling. What's up? Is this Mindaugus' official channel? If it is, hello Mindaugus. Good to see the goat in here. NLV, what's up? Says possibly UCL there about what zeg je me daar nou van's question there about his elbow issues. Yeah. If it really feels like it's gonna pop off the joint, like, the first thing you should do is go see a doctor, right? Yeah, that's the first thing I would do. If it really feels that bad, then yeah, probably go see a doctor. Hey, Gert Dylan in the house. How you doing, Gert? Welcome. Eric Harlan in the chat says, yo, Arm Historian, you see my last episode with Chop Bertrand from Game of Arms? I did not. I haven't had a lot of time to catch up on Game of Arms matches, but I really should, because I heard there's some bangers in there. Low Budget Live, how you doing? Hello. German Game says, real men don't go to doctors, just kidding. Thank you for clarifying the just kidding. I've heard crazier things from arm wrestlers and arm wrestling fans before, so thank you for clarifying. What's on the docket for today? It's probably gonna be a short stream, although I've been known to say that in the past and then it turns into like an hour and a half long affair. So we'll see. I'm planning on keeping it short because I'm actually deep in the midst of creating an episode, like a long video for the channel, so something to look forward to, but I do wanna finish that in a timely manner, so. And I have some time tonight, so yeah, I'm probably gonna keep it short, just to let you know beforehand. And LV, glad you're here, man. Thanks for dropping by to everyone. Gian says, hello arms and people. Hello Gian, welcome to the Arm Historian Live. We're here every Sunday, same time, same place. At least I try to be. Very rare exceptions do happen sometimes, but yeah. So we're gonna take a look at some new East versus West matches, I think, kind of leaked, if you could call it that. I don't know if it's a true leak, but I saw a Reddit thread talking about how someone kind of spilled some matches for, I think, what is it, 17 or something, or not the next one, but the one afterwards. Not the one in Georgia, but the one that's going to be in, I believe, Galveston, Texas, is what I'm hearing right now. So yeah, we'll do a little deep dive on that and take a look at if it's actually legit and what kind of matches they spoiled. German Game says, I've got bad news, the table did not arrive. That's too bad, man. Yeah, I still would like a review on that whenever you do get it. It might still arrive, right? Doesn't mean it's a scam or something. Wasn't it Arlington? Yeah, okay. That makes sense, Arlington, okay. That's cool, Eric. Tomer says, can Russians go to America or are visas in the way? That's a good question. I actually don't know, especially now with like a change of leadership happening imminently. I have no clue about that. I've been wondering it myself, Tomer, so yeah. Hey, Neil, pick up in the house. How you doing, Neil? Says, well, Arm Historian, I hope that you're well on what for me has been a piss-poor weekend. On the bright side, Mindagus Moriarty Terracetis is in the chat, just a regular goat and proper C-U-N-T. Yeah, I hear you, Neil. I saw him in chat. I don't know what's... Like, fill me in on a piss-poor weekend. What happened? Can you talk more on that? Or are you gonna save it for the fix later? Or is there not gonna be a fix? But yeah, I did see Mindagus in chat. First time, I think. And LV says, hopefully Russians will be able to get a visa. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope it doesn't get in the way of some good matches, right? Probably, like, the whole conflict already got in the way of a lot of good matches without us even knowing. But it would be a shame if there were more to fall by the wayside because of it, right? Okay, you still got a couple days then. Let's hope it'll arrive on time, German Game. Okay, so let's take a look. I think I came across it on Reddit before. Let me change the view for you guys really quick. Yeah, so it's at the top of the subreddit right now. It says, I don't think this was meant to be public, but there's the East versus West 17 card. Very interesting. So someone asked on a thread, when and what city, and Robert Baxter himself answered March 29th, Arlington, Texas. 30 minutes from, what is that, Dallas Fort Worth Airport? Something like that. Eric says, cool. Is there a flyer for this weekend? Weight classes. And now Robert Baxter says, do you mean for the main event super matches or the East vs. West Challenger tournament the day before? I guess both would help, says Eric. And then Robert says, Engin's finalizing the main event. But so far it's Devin versus Morozov, John Brezink versus Kanai, Dave Chavey versus Georgi Tsvetkov, Jerry Caderet versus Kamil Jablonski, Craig Tullier versus John Therrien, Wagner Bortolato versus Prudnik, Amin Daugus, who was in chat earlier, versus Daniel Ustinov, Hunter Noss versus Fallon Lowe. That's nice that Fallon Lowe will get a chance there. Bob Brown will enter, Nathan Williamson, and Billy Ortegas are running the East vs. West Challenger event. So Bob Brown won't be pulling, obviously, but he'll be running the East vs. West Challenger event on Friday. So yeah, really interesting and a lot of good matches, I think. Jerry Caderet versus Kamil Jablonski will be one to keep an eye on for sure. Gian says, yeah, those matches are hot. Yes, indeed they are. James M says, let's go. Keep up the good work, buddy. Thank you, James M, for joining us and helping to keep me motivated. Watseki Medarnovan says, I meant Coach Gay Unirgue yesterday. No, in Norway. Watseki Medarnovan, your sentences are getting more and more difficult for me to kind of understand here. But I'm doing my best. Bob Anderson says, have you talked about the Knuckles Up 5 card? I believe we have to some degree about some of the matches. But we can go over them again, Bob Anderson. Would be down for doing that. His keyboard is messing, says Watseki Medarnovan. Fair enough. I'll try to, I'll try to get it. Tomer says, great card except for the Prudnik match and John Brezink match. Can I beat John a few years ago? The result will be the same. I don't want John to win. It's tough, right? Because I get what you're saying. It might go that way. I'm not 100% on that, but it might go that way. But I definitely get what you're saying. I would hate for like a nice resurgence or a nice comeback to be stopped in its tracks already. Would be a shame. But I do want to see the match again. I mean, Kanai looks to be in pretty good shape, and I don't know where John is at right now. He defeated Leonidas, but it wasn't an easy match, or at least it didn't look like an easy match. Words are hard, Mr. Peanuts, indeed they are. Tomer says, I mean, I don't want John to lose. Well, I don't want Kanai to lose, to be honest. Bob Anderson says, Todd Hutchings thinks that John will beat Kanai round 1, and then he will gas out. Might be true. I don't know if they still train together, Todd Hutchings and John Brezink. I'm guessing they don't really. Hey, Muscle Bike, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Welcome. Yeah, all is okay here. I'm a little short on time sometimes, but other than that, all is fine. Thanks for reminding the people to hit that like button. If you have a second, hit the thumbs up. Get the live stream to a couple more people. Let's take a look at what else is on here, right? Because these matches, really nice, but I think it's still speculation at this point, right? For the most part. I'm wondering if this was like a true leak, or it seems so weird that Robert would just throw that in a public reply so far ahead of, because yeah, it just seems weird to spoil it in a way like this. So maybe he thought it was private messaging, or I don't know, hard to say, right? I have no clue. Or maybe he legitimately didn't care and just thought this was a good way to get it out there. Maybe he talked about it before and I'm just not aware of it. Hey Adip, how you doing? Welcome. Chuck in the house. What's up, Chuck? Good to see you, man. Gian says, honestly, it seems a boomer move. Yeah, that was my first impression too, right? Maybe he just thought he was private messaging with someone, or I don't know. Hard to say. It seems so hard to imagine, though, that would be a legitimate mistake. Tomer says, I'm not sure about the Devon versus Morozov match. Devon seems to be looking for a paycheck. Well, I think that depends on if it's the left-handed match or the right-handed match, right? Do we know already? I hear Dylan says pancakes cost money. That they do, especially if you want the good kind, right? What's Madonna says, do you know anything about the over-the-top tournament held in Norway, where I got injured because I'm dumb? It does ring a bell because I have been I've been using a lot of over-the-top, like I've had to do some research on over-the-top, the tournament and the movie, like the tournament in the 80s and the movie, because of some videos I made lately. And I think I saw, like, there's a couple of other more recent tournaments that also went under the name Over the Top. And I think I saw that one pop up too. If it's a more recent one, then I think I saw that one. Chuck says, what are we talking about? We're talking about quote-unquote leaks. I don't know if they actually are, of East versus West 17, I think it is. The one being held in Texas. Like Robert replied with a couple of matches. Hey, the Fearless Spectrum, how you doing, man? Been seeing a lot of you on Instagram. See that you're posting a lot there. Good that you keep training, man. Looks like you have a really nice training partner too, so that's a good thing. German game with his weekly question. Any South Germans here? Yeah, if there's any people from South Germany, hit my man German game up. The guy has been looking for training partners for a long time in his region, but he's kind of in a arm wrestling desert over there. So yeah, if you're anywhere close to there or know of anyone close to there, try to get him in touch with German game. Tomer says, I was assuming left, but to be honest, I doubt Engen would give Morozov's left to Devon, because he hasn't earned it yet. But I don't know, Devon seems to usually get his way. Cough, dodging, Vitaly, cough, cough. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and it could be either, I guess. But yeah, like you alluded to, I don't think it would make sense for Devon to be facing Morozov on the left. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. You would think he would just get destroyed, right? So, if it's a match on the right, I kinda, yeah, I'm there for it. Could be a match, a good match. I think a lot of people think Devon would destroy him on the right. I don't know if that's true. Chuck says, I'm kind of disappointed with matches Georgie is getting. I think we should get Hermes versus Georgie, because I can see Georgie winning. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I could see that happening. I hope you won't be asking that question in 2 years, German game. Muscle Bikes is arm historian. What happened to the screen background snow? I'm depressed. What do you mean? It's right there. Don't even know what you're talking about. Who wins in this match? Probably not Mask, right? Coolman seems to think so. Why doesn't Mask shave off his head? He'll look much better than he's looking with that balding crop of hair right now. Someone with a very insightful comment on Reddit, as always. I love seeing these kinds of posts though. The whole Devin Gennady saga. Has anyone been watching this unfold? I haven't yet. I've seen some short clips here and there, like some people talking about how Gennady is looking terrible, looking sickly and small. I haven't been keeping up with it at all. Okay, so it's Gennady talking in his car. Talking trash to Devin, probably. Show some respect, dude. That probably... This one frame probably sums it up quite well, right? It's probably Gennady's position. Gian said someone said that, and then Gennady wrist curled 110 kilograms. Yeah. Doesn't seem like someone who's sickly and weak. Imagine Devin weighing more than Gennady by match day, says Bob Anderson. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I've heard all kinds of things about how Devin is gonna come in 300 pounds, stuff like that. I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know, hard to imagine. Seems like lately Devin isn't really into that extreme bulking. I think the last time he went that heavy was, and the only time probably, was versus Michael Todd at King of the Table. After he had his pulmonary embolism and all that business. Lat Rousseau says, hello everyone, isn't Gennady 150 kilograms? I don't know. How heavy is Gennady? I thought he was like 130 or something, but... Yeah, maybe he is that heavy. Could be. Big dude. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the whole Gennady Devin thing that much. But it seems like there's a lot of good back and forth, right? Tomer says, well, Dennis has been very active. He's been stonewalling Daria Khan in the center. He's looking very strong. I'm very excited for a match with Dave Chaffee, although I think Zeranov is better. Yeah, I've seen some people talk about how Dennis is looking very good on video. I don't know, I always take, especially, this might sound biased or something, I don't know, but a lot of the like from the Eastern guys, a lot of the table practice, I take it with a grain of salt. It always seems like they're kind of, and it makes sense, right? They want to make people that want to make a splash or want to make a comeback in the sport. They want to make them look good. So yeah, I always kind of, that goes for every, it's not just the guys from the East, to be honest. It goes for every table practice you see. It's just a couple of examples come to mind when I've seen that from some of the Eastern guys. What resources? Anyway, I don't think Devin will be at the same weight as Gennady. Probably not. It would surprise me. I'd like to see, just for the freak factor, I guess, a really heavy Devin again. There's been some people talking about how Devin has picked up some tips from Brian Shaw on how to gain a lot of good mass quick. So yeah. Still remains to be seen. Yeah, and congrats to Eastside, who got third place on the left arm in Singapore's first open tournament, which is awesome. So congrats to my man Eastside. Very well done. love to have a match with him someday. Keep calling him out till we one day meet, and then we'll have a good match. Arm wrestling is fun. Al Omega Rich with the hot take here says Godzilla's side pressure move is just an open arm top roll, inoffensive. Kinda looks like it, to be fair. Sometimes against certain opponents it kinda does look like it. Latrusso says, what would be the point for Dennis to pretend to be good only to get dunked on match day? Last match versus Gennady, Devin was 125 kilogram IRC. Hype for the match, selling tickets. There's a lot of reasons why you would want to hype yourself up for the match, right? I think all athletes do that to some degree. If the match is very uneven, or you're expecting it to be uneven, you can't make money selling tickets if you actually present yourself that way, right? So I think there is some... I'm not saying it's the case here. I'm not saying that's actually happening. I'm just saying there could be incentive for doing it. It's not outside the realm of possibilities, I think. Tomer says, well, even physically, Dennis looks good and bigger than a few months ago, but the West is not immune to stuff like that. I believe that Michael Todd took Synthol. Interesting. I don't know, man. I'm making a video on some stuff that comes very close to the topics we're talking about here. Yeah. It might ruffle a few feathers, or whatever the saying is. Might get me into a little bit of trouble. But yeah, I am gonna be releasing that video soon, hopefully. I'm gonna try and work on it tonight. Bob Anderson says Dennis versus Dave could happen this year. Yeah, I'd like to see it, for sure. They faced each other before. They each had pins on each other, I believe, so yeah, love to see it again. I think it's a good match, actually. It might be, at least. Yeah, Latrusso, that's what I thought Synthol was, so yeah. Musclebike says, Arm Historian, I can't wait for your next spicy video. Let's see whose feathers get ruffled this time. That's the thing, I think a lot of feathers might get ruffled. A lot of people's feathers might get ruffled from this one. But that means there's potential for good views, right? On the upside. I did get some help from a chat member, so if I'm going down, that chat member is going down with me. He helped me out with research on the video, so I do have a kind of a patsy. Musclebike says, good arm gods won't be offended, that I can promise. Yeah, I don't think, I'm thinking if Arm Gods is mentioned in the video specifically. I don't think anyone from Arm Gods is mentioned. No, I don't think so. So no, they won't be offended, I think. Although I don't know. Some of the topics they might be. Devin saying, I think I will be the biggest I've ever been when I compete against Gennady. Be really interesting to see if he can get over that 300-pound hill there. Latrusso says, is it about people faking the weights they lift in videos? No, it isn't, Latrusso, although that's an interesting topic for sure, but it's not about that. Tomer says, the way I see it is Todd went from number 1, then lost to Ravas, who was unranked. In a year he went from 0 to 0. He was on a losing streak, so to boost his confidence, he wanted to look bigger. Maybe. I don't know. You're saying he actually injected Synthol? Chuck coming in with a super chat here. 50... I should know what I think is Polish currency, right? PLN. Zloty, yeah, of course. Polish zloty. Very nice. Thank you so much. That's quite a bit, isn't it? Like 50 PLN? What is that? Yeah, man, that's not a small super chat. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. That's very generous. But Chuck, seriously, man. Chuck is helping me behind the scenes. He's helped like a lot with research on 2 big videos I've been working on. So give some love to Chuck for sure for helping me. I know he's a busy guy, but he's taking some of his free time to help me in the channel. So really nice. He shouldn't be giving me super chats here. If anything, I should be giving him super chats. But thank you so much, Chuck. That's really generous, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, 1171 in the German game. That's yeah, that's generous, Chuck. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, Gian, I just reminded myself of that fact. I know I knew it at some point, but I must have forgotten. Feel educated people. Seriously, thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that. Latrousseau says his bicep always looked like that about Michael Todd's. Is Michael Todd's bicep injected with synthol? Maybe I should make a video on that and become kind of the son of arm wrestling channels. I'll try to stoop a couple of levels below concrete elbow. Start making videos on whether or not Michael Todd has synthol injections. But it would get a lot of views though. Yeah, the fake Henry has popped up on the Arm Historian channel too. Maybe it's Henry himself. Maybe it is Henry and he's double bluffing everyone. It's injected with Diddy baby oil. Jesus. Muscle Bike says MMT of all people doesn't need synthol. Nobody does, let alone him. Yeah, I agree. Nobody does. Very well said. Gail says, isn't synthol pretty dumb for athletes other than bodybuilders? Yeah, for sure. Chuck says, even for them, it's stupid. Yeah. There are a few fake channels making R-worded comments, says Latru, so yeah, I've seen them around. They've been on my channel too. Not en masse, but they have popped up here and there. Tomer says, I looked it up just a second ago. Tur in Polish means round, so as far as Google Translate knows, zloty tur means the money round. That's interesting. What's the Madonna says, it's sad I can't nut anymore because of my injury. That is, yeah, that's terrible. What's the Madonna? I feel for you, ma'am. Arm Wrestling fan, how you doing? Says, how's Tripod? Doing well, doing well. How are you doing, Arm Wrestling fan? We were talking about a post you made on Reddit. I'm gonna see if I can find it again. Yeah, Godzilla's side pressure move is just an open arm top roll in offensive. Talked about that for a hot minute there. It does kind of look like it. How y'all think Ryan Bowen is looking lately? Healthy, strong. What do you think of this bicep curl? 100 kilograms. Not exactly super strict, but impressive, right? Kind of throwing your body under it and then pushing up. Yeah, still impressive. Wild milk cows. Mr. Peanut says MMT isn't playing with synthol, it's stem cell therapy. Yeah, I've done some digging into stem cell therapy lately. Bob Anderson says synthol could possibly help an arm wrestler win a match by intimidating the opponent. Yes, Bob Anderson coming in with the psychological aspect there. That's very true. Could be a major benefit to synthol. I think Bob cracked the code here. It's Arok. It's actually a form of Arok. Okay, yeah. Aroks are indeed like an old, very hairy cow, if I remember correctly. Like a big kind of, yeah, like a big hairy cow. Musclebike says Bowen is genuinely strong, jokes aside. Yeah, yeah. I couldn't do this. Even with this kind of form, I couldn't do this, and I weigh more than Bowen, so yeah. Definitely strong. He's looking fresh, looking good. I hope he gets a chance at some point on the big stage again. Yeah, here they're talking about Dennis stonewalling Daddy Khan. Very interesting. Tomer says there comes a point where the form doesn't matter, the lift is still impressive, although more of practicing for a limbo competition than a strict bicep curl. Yeah, I see what you're saying, a limbo competition, right? That's what you're saying. Yeah. That does seem kind of what it looks like, yeah. Let's see, Madonna says, Khaled dude should make a comeback, and why are there no black athletes in the top? At least very few. Don't they have better muscle genetics? I don't know about muscle genetics necessarily. I'm not gonna make any proclamations about that, but I do agree that we could do with some more representation at the top, right? And I don't know why that is. Obviously, it's not something that can be forced or should be forced in any way, but I think we should try to be as inclusive as possible, especially as like a niche community. I think it could only harm us to exclude certain peoples. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting question. I don't know why. Can only speculate. Latrusto says, well, in USA, black athletes go for better paid sports. To a degree, that might be true. I think in the countries where arm wrestling is popular, the demographics just lean more white. So it makes sense that there's more white people in arm wrestling, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just a smaller pool. I think if arm wrestling would explode in Africa, for example, you'd see a big influx of black athletes, which makes sense because Africa is primarily, a lot of countries in Africa are primarily black, so yeah. Mr. Peanut says breakdancing, question mark. What does that even mean? Well, we want more black arm wrestlers than to beat Levon. Just, not necessarily to beat Levon, but just in general, more diversity I think would be a good thing. Yeah, just to get more people into the sport. Lago says East vs West 17 venue is really cool. The 17 one is the one in Texas, right? Or is 17 the Tbilisi one? Is the next one 17? Let me quickly take a look. No, the next one is 16. That's the Tbilisi one, right? So they've already showed... They already know the venue of the 17 one in Texas. Interesting. Muscleback says lots of untapped potential within the black community. Yeah, for sure. Bob Anderson says there are some black strongman looking into arm wrestling. That's awesome. I hope they do show up. The strongman community, I mean. Would be nice. Muscleback says, I'd love Mark Felix to go all into arm wrestling, but at least we have Shaw. Yeah, that's true. Mark Felix has crazy hands, right? A better chance than ice hockey exploding in Africa. That's true. That's true. I don't know. It happened for what's that sport again? Which Voivoda did too. I don't know why I'm blanking on it. Did it 1,000 times, but like the Cool Runnings one. Bobsledding. If it can happen for bobsledding, it can happen for arm wrestling, right? yeah, bobsledding, there you go. Chuck says Peanut always making us wonder. That's true. Peanut does have kind of a very specific function in the arm historian live chats. Gian says strength sports often are mostly made by Caucasians. Could be. I don't know about that. Tomer says, I saw an interesting video on genetics for strength. White people tend to get fatter easily, which makes sense because north is cold, but having the bulk does help in strength. But this is a generalization. Yeah, for sure. I also think there's so much gene pool variation by now within such large parts of society that it's very hard to even still use these categorizations to a large degree. Lago says Engin made a video about East vs West 17. The venue is in the thumbnail. Awesome. Okay, cool. Arm wrestling fan says high fructose corn syrup will make anyone fat. That's true, and you don't even need high fructose corn syrup to get fat. Believe me, there's plenty of ways to get fat. Plenty of easy ways. Yeah, so it does look like Engin, I was just looking at it, it does look like Engin put out a video on the whole next East vs West, like East vs West 17 event already. So yeah, big one to look forward to. Let's take a quick look at some of the East vs West 16 matches before we round off the live stream. Because I do want to edit a little bit tonight before I go to sleep. Mayonnaise bulk is the best bulk, yes indeed. You mix mayonnaise with some vodka and you've got a full meal right there. All I have to do is be myself to get fat easy. Indeed, it does feel that way, doesn't it? Muscle bike. I hear you there, man. You'll have to repeat this one, man. How do you live? And then something. German Game says, have you heard of the Bavarian Grizzlies? I have not. German Game, fill me in on the Bavarian Grizzlies. It's an arm wrestling club in Munich. Interesting. Have not heard of them. Tomer says there are differences between races, though. For example, in sprinting, they're all black and usually West African descent specifically. And then, yeah, I'm not saying like there's no difference in certain gene pools. I'm just saying it's very hard to just use classifications as black and white when you're talking about gene diversity, because a lot of black people will have some white ancestry and vice versa too, right? So I think it's hard to talk in like absolutes like that. You can make generalizations about everything you want, but yeah. Gian says, do you have any clue on where to buy the pay-per-view? For East versus West? Yeah, at Core Sports. You can buy it at Core Sports or just press this. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Let me change it a little bit here. See the red button in the top right corner right here? You can click that. And you should be able to go straight to Core Sports, although they've just seen to. I'm looking at the link and it's just a no. It doesn't work. There's no link there. So yeah. But that's not the way to do it apparently. The get the pay-per-view button doesn't work right now. You can go to app, that's app.coresports.tv, and you'll be able to find it there. Should be able to find it there if you log in. Should be able to see the event there. I don't know if you can buy it yet. I'm looking right now and it doesn't look like you can. Though I might be missing it. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's not available yet. Maybe they're still thinking about the price. I don't know. Hard to say. But either way, yeah, I can buy it either. I'll have you know that, like, the mechanics and biology of how arm-headed people talk is very well documented and studied. Wat zeg je me daar nou van? And you like pretending to be ignorant on that says a lot about you, I think. Arm-headed people are people too, you know. Tomer says, I'm the opposite. I cannot eat for hours easily. Eating is hard and can't eat much at a time. Being myself just gets me skinny. Eating is a chore. Yeah, there are people out there who feel that way. I know some people like that too. Personally, I'm the opposite of that. I can eat a lot very easily, but I don't consider that a positive thing for me either, so yeah. That Rousseau says, it makes sense that people that come from colder places are taller and bigger. To a degree, that does make sense, although it's not always necessarily the case for taller, I would think. But yeah, I don't know. If you're from a colder region, you're also gonna want to be more compact to a degree, to preserve, like, to need less energy. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think taller is right there. Because a lot of our distant evolutionary cousins, like Neanderthals and stuff, were stockier than we were, and they lived more northernly than we did, generally, and in more forested, colder areas than we did, so it's not always the case, for sure. Yeah, arm wrestling fans says the tallest people are in South Sudan, but whatever. There's a lot of very tall people in all kinds of parts of Africa, so yeah, certainly true. Mr. Peanut says genetics. Levan isn't running any marathons. Probably isn't running to his mailbox without the rest. Yeah, but it's funny because imagine if Levan geared his entire existence instead of into arm wrestling, into marathon running. I'm not saying he would have been the best in the world, but maybe potentially he could have still been pretty good at it. Buy it for me, thanks. Yeah, sure. I'll get right on that, arm wrestling fan. Yeah, 3k cal are no problem indeed. I get there by accident sometimes. Yeah, to a degree that's true, but a lot of African people don't lack 100% Neanderthal DNA. They still have small percentages of Neanderthal DNA. Plus, Neanderthal DNA isn't necessarily a signifier for large bones or anything. It's way less impactful than some people will have you think it is. Having like 0.1% of Neanderthal DNA isn't going to do that much for you. In most cases. Hey Verbeer, how you doing? Good to see you. Musclebike says Anglo-Saxon, Scandi, and European genetics are predisposed to cold climates, hence we tend to have large appetites and tend to be bigger both upwards and outwards. Yeah, the outward part is certainly true. Yeah, I also think availability of food plays a big role in that, even through multiple generations. I think scarcity of food through a couple generations can lead to a diminished growth pattern, which will lead you to think it's a smaller people, when in fact it's just a couple of generations of kind of nutritional deprivation, right? Yeah, and that's another thing. I too have... I have no issue with being in the cold. But I think a big part of that to me is like just getting used to it while growing up. I mean, as a kid, we never really put on the heater. We very seldomly did that because both my parents liked the cold and liked to keep the window open throughout winter and stuff like that. So I just grew up getting used to the cold. So yeah, there is some genetic factor there, but then how much of it is determined by what you're used to, right? I think that there's at least an equally big factor at play there. And I think that goes for a lot of sports too. But yeah, the whole nurture versus nature argument is something we can talk about endlessly, right? I think that's a little bit beyond the scope of this particular live stream. Yeah, Tomer says the North Koreans are smaller than the South Koreans by a few inches. Food probably matters more than genetics for height. Yeah, for sure. Of course. It's a factor that a lot of people tend to overlook, especially if it is across a couple of generations. Some genes that have been associated with hand grip strength, which is always interesting. That's interesting, Mr. Peanut. Yeah, I think we've arrived about at the natural conclusion of the stream. I went live for way longer than I wanted to. I don't know if Neil is going live with the fix soon. Let me quickly check on that for you guys. And I'll probably try to get some work done on like a big episode I'm working on. But no guarantees that it'll be finished tomorrow. I hope it will be, but yeah, there's gonna be a fix, it seems, in about 20 minutes. Say hi to Neil for me when you go there sometime after this stream. Sorry to leave you hanging for a couple of minutes, but I think my time will be well spent working on the video. Neil comes home in 20 minutes, indeed, Bob Anderson. A spicy new Todd Hot Top video dropped. Oh, I gotta get over there and watch that. Arm Wrestling fan. German Games is already going offline. Unfortunately, yes, German Game. You can always hit me up, man. If you want to talk to me about arm wrestling or anything else, doesn't really matter. You can join the Discord. I'm pretty active on there. I usually see your message when you post in the Arm Historian Discord. You can also hit me up on Instagram or even Facebook. I sometimes check, although very rarely that one. And yeah, get in touch with me that way if you want. White Wolf coming in with a last-minute super chat. Says Arm Historian, did we talk about Ultimate Arm Wrestler matches today? We did not, White Wolf, but I did see them in passing. To be fair, I haven't been able to like really keep up with any of the new arm wrestling matches that have been coming out. Like I've completely missed that. And yeah, the same thing for Ultimate Arm Wrestler. I've seen them in passing, but unfortunately I haven't been able to catch up on all of them yet. But I definitely want to hit that. I'll put that on the list for topics I'll talk about next week. The proven labor lifestyle has direct impact on bone growth and density. Heavy workloads build bigger bones. That's a fact, says Mr. Peanut. I can believe that for sure. Yeah, Tomer White Wolf, Muscle Bike, everyone. Good to see you all. Welcome to thank you to everyone who was in chat today, who was in the live stream. I appreciate you all. Yep, see you next time, same place, same time. And until then, as always, of course, Arm Historian out of here. Bye-bye, guys.